Amy, part of Sunday's big game experience, watching the commercials, and many of the ads that air during the Super Bowl game are promoting soda, snacks, and other junk foods. Dr. Clarence Lee from US HealthWorks is here to help us avoid falling into some unhealthy eating habits, I guess not just on Sunday, but all year long, watching different events and maybe the Oscars or whatever, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You're going to want to try some of those unhealthy foods, but, you know, you zig and you zag, you know. So it's all about moderation.
So for the Super Bowl, you go to a party, and pretty much everything on the spread is delicious. And we brought some of the things that you'll probably see here. Even something like chicken. Now, this is chicken, and it's glazed chicken, buffalo-style chicken. So not all chicken that's breaded is really good for you.
It's all about how it's prepared. So, you know, you can prepare chicken healthy ways, and you can prepare it in unhealthy ways. So, you know, everybody's going to try their buffalo wings. They're going to have their chips, they're going to have their soda. You know, as long as we're talking about how much and doing those in moderation, I think you can be just fine.
One thing I learned not too long ago, you know you're going to a party with a lot of food like this if you're at home, is to, quote, pre-eat, end quote, where you try to fill up a little bit on carrots or vegetables, things that may not be at your buddy's party.
Exactly. Yeah, you can just try to have a little pre-game meal and then go and partake just little by little. You know, you may have a little taste for that 7-layer dip. You know, try a little bit, and that's all you need.
There are some substitutes, though, if you're preparing things like this. Like instead of mayo, you can go with a Greek yogurt or something. Right?
Yes, yes. As long as you have some healthy options, if you're throwing a party, I would just encourage people have some healthy options for the folks that are coming over to share the game with. And that's fruits, and that's veggies, and water instead of soda, having those things.
And instead of like a full beer, a light beer, which would be much healthier, right?
There you go.
Less damage on something like that. No, you obviously in pretty good shape. You work out. How do you eat, doctor? You try to set a good example for your patients?
I do. It's actually one of the things I'm really passionate about. So if you know, if I'm recommending some things for my patient, I like to also have those in my life as well. So yeah, I just try to eat clean as much as I can. And when I'm giving advice, you want to be practical about it. So you don't necessarily want to say don't have soda at all, because that's not really realistic. So if you have people thinking about the amounts and do everything in moderation, you can stay healthy and fit just fine.
So for fit people like you who do it right year round, do you go to a Super Bowl party and you just go, you know what, I'm gonna get a little sideways here. It's in moderation. It's fun. It's Super Bowl. I may have something I don't normally have.
Absolutely, absolutely, no question about it. And that's the beauty of our bodies. You know, you can do those things in moderation and be fine. It's just you know, if you just do it all the time, that's when you have health issues.
I once read that for eating a traditional Thanksgiving meal, which is the turkey, gravy, stuffing, the bread, and all that stuff, you'd have to run a marathon to work that off. Your body burns calories anyway, even if you're sitting or sleeping, but that's how much you would need to do exercise-wise to burn that meal off. Probably something like this too.
Very similar. That's a great example, and I think when you tell people the amount of calories that they do eat in one sitting at a Super Bowl party or something like that, and say, well, if you want to even out what you just took in, you'll have to run a marathon, and that kind of puts the light bulbs on for folks. So I love counting calories. It's a great way to make examples for folks.
All good suggestions from Dr. Lee. If you don't mind just leaving the stuff behind, I'll make sure it's disposed of properly. All right, Doctor, thank you. Amy, back to you.
It's over 6,000 calories, so basically only one beer instead of 10, and maybe a handful of chips instead of the whole bag. Is that
Moderation.
fair? Moderation. All right, thanks, gentlemen.